Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust Christian own nothing, control everything. Just want to thank you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens in the replay. This is the vault, episode 752. What is this? We're doing fear, trust. Actually, I think we've done an episode about this before, but we'll do another episode. Why? Because we get consultations every single week, and we pretty much cover what we go over in the consultations to a degree, because there's a lot of information that's highly redundant, and so we're going to address it today. A lot of people say they want to get into trust, a lot of people want to have a trust, a lot of people think they're going to own a trust. Well, we're here to at least address some of the concerns that people have, which are the fears, the false evidence appearing real. That's why it's in the acronym form, because it's the false evidence of appearing real. So we're going to go ahead and hop into the episode here today. We're just going to remind y'all, this is not a motivational episode, but it can come off as very motivational. Why? Because, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people say they want to get into trust. Oh, I want to be in trusteeship. The reason why so much fear around it is because you weren't taught it in public school. You were taught that you were going to have a social security number. You were taught that you're going to end up probably getting a job. The standard system mentality. The system that produces 80% of the population. But that system does not produce the 20%. It spits them out. And it says we don't have a defined system for that, because if we did, we would produce more. So we're a failure at creating entrepreneurs. We are highly exceptional at creating employees. People that work for you guys. The ones that pay our salaries. The ones that pay for professorships. The ones that pay for deanships. The ones pay for endowments at colleges. The ones that pay for medical research. The ones that pay for hospitals to get built. The ones that get paid for libraries to get built, that control the education. They don't have a system for us. We're considered outside the box thinkers. So that already lets you know if you are or you not. Are you an outside the box thinker? Because if you are, you walk by faith. You don't walk in fear. You don't let the images in front of you fool you. You have the inner vision, not just outer vision, outer sight. Well, what's the fear, Trust Christian? What's these fears you talk about? The fear. Well, we can share with you all that. Trust Christian, everybody that reaches out to the vault. If you have we don't want to say negative mentality to the downside first, but it's more along the lines of, do you have a risk adjusted return mentality before you walk into things? Some people say, oh, I'm not looking for the downside. I'm not looking for things to go wrong, but I am prepared. What they say, prepare for the worst, hope for the best. You hear those loser lines? Well, in trusteeship, it's not wrong to have a thought process, not necessarily to fear, but to have a protectionist. You're a protector, you're protecting assets, a preserver of assets. So you're looking to find out how to protect first before you put things at risk. So it's not a bad thing to look at risk first and assess the upside second. Because a lot of people want to look at the upside. Oh, I could win a lottery, but they're willing to risk more than what they have. A risk unnecessarily, or here you go. First of all, this just caters to your thought process of you being a calculated risk taker. There's nothing wrong with being a calculated risk taker. Some people, that was always the thing we used to wonder. What's the difference between a trader and a gambler? What's the difference between an entrepreneur and a gambler? What's the difference between a business person and a gambler? What's the difference between an investor and a gambler? We take calculated risk. That was the difference. Poker players take calculated risk. We all take calculated risk. Doctors take calculated risk. We all are taking calculated risk. Some of us are using it consciously. Some of us are doing it calculated, not just taking risk. So what's the fear? Once again, Trust Christian. The fear is, oh, well, something can go wrong if I get into trusteeship. I'm not going to immediately get into trusteeship. I'm going to keep riding around unprotected. Okay, great. Then clearly it's not for you. But when we talk to entrepreneurs or people in general that, okay, we want to protect because we know we have something to lose, they would always ask the question, Trust Christian, how do you need to trust? Why do you need to trust? How do you know you need well, because you have something to protect. That's it. But most people, they walk around like they don't have value. They walk around like they don't have anything. So how are they going to feel or think that they have something to protect? Somebody gets on the line the other day. Oh, I know about the subject too. Okay then. So you're, what are you doing? I know they do that all the time in real estate. Okay, so what are you doing? Are you going to protect your assets now? Because it's subject to, since you're aware of that? The fears. What can go wrong? Oh, this can go wrong. Well, we would also like to tell you, let's start focusing again on what can go right. What can go right? The fears. The fear is no one that has been in trusteeship is going to sit on my board. So they could say, oh, Trust Christian, you were supposed to sit on my board. You know you were supposed to sit on my board. Hey, Trust Christian could have sat on a few people's boards and we would have took over half the company. That's just bottom line every single time. Why? Because you have to understand how much work you have to do as a trustee. You're an overseer. You don't really do much work, but you oversee other people doing work. The fear is like we'll give you guys another example of what fear looks like. So the fear is you don't know how to build a team, one, or two, you don't know how to vet the talent to build a team, or three, the fear is I don't know anyone in my immediate circle that can fill these positions. So the fear is I don't really know how to go out and find someone else to actually fill these positions. I don't know if I have the ability to go out and find these people. That's the fears, the false evidence appearing reals. Just like you build friendships in your current circle, you're going to have to build new friendships in another circle to get the work and the outcomes that you want. So let's continue. The fears. I don't know if I could build a board for the trusteeship. I want to get in trusteeship. I hear you, Trust Christian. I've been doing a lot of stuff by my life as a sole entrepreneur. Right. So now you get in trusteeship and you're utilizing that same philosophy, that same thought process when the system is what's going to be what you build for generations to come. And if you don't know how to build a system, you have to find people that know how to build the system. So they'll say, oh, well, I reached out to Trust Christian in the vault. That's a good point. That's definitely a good point. It's a very good point. Okay, great. There's still additional resources, whether we provide them or just in general, there's still additional resources that you can have available and that are available for your expense. But a lot of them, a lot of people, if just being real with y'all, it's not on just go on social media or the internet. Like it's private information. You don't want to hear that you're in environments that, to be very frank and honest with you, most of these environments, they're private. It's just bottom line. It's private environments. And when you're in these private environments, information doesn't just get leaked out into the public. The conversations, the relationships, that's not the case. So it's very, very important to get around the whole, how do I build out a team or, do I have the skill sets? We'll give you a few fears that we had in the beginning. You get a better understanding. Say, oh man, mentor, I need to know accounting because I'm gonna be the trustee. I gotta know accounting. You're the fiduciary, correct? Right. So you think you need to know accounting? This is it's a wise thing. We had a trustee come to us recently on a consultation. He said, "Yeah, I need to know this accounting stuff." It's like, first of all, you're not about to memorize generally accepted accounting principles. You're not about to learn GAAP, but do you need to be aware of GAAP? Sure. You learn about GAAP. You communicate with people that are aware of GAAP, and you learn some basic principles. You can learn the top 10 maxims for GAAP. Basics, but nothing to where it's I'm about to go become a CPA or become some type of whatever the heck you think you're gonna be, a CFA or whatever it is. None of that. How? That's not founder status. It's somebody that's trying to work for a company, so you go get a license or something. Now we've met founders that they have CFAs. Yes, that's correct. But we're talking about, okay, you're transitioning from job to trusteeship, or you have a business and you're transitioning to trusteeship. Whether you know it or not, we could say it's just for the entrepreneurs because they're at a place where if they walked away from the company can still manage itself. Whereas employee, if you walk away from the job, where's the money gonna keep coming into the family estate from if you're not doing anything? See, this is why it's imperative that individuals have what people call multiple sources of income. One or two, making it a point to put in time into a business venture that can yield them some type of lifestyle with freedom, other than just basically, like we were talking to a trustee the other day. Okay, yeah, you have one shop, and you're there. That already shows you the business is not in expansion mode. Why? Because it's only coming from your effort at the location. So as long as that location is not open, it's not making money without you. Secondly, if you're the only one there, or you're the one there, the business is making money because you're there. So how does that justify that they can have multiple locations? It's dependent upon you being there. So we had to share with the trustee that it's very important for them to utilize big Fortune 500 ideas where you utilize influencer campaigns, you pay for influencers to be present, you learn how to utilize influence mentality because this is what it comes down to, the fears. Oh man, how do I influence people? Well, we're just going to go ahead and tell you out the straight up truth, the shake and skinny. A lot of entrepreneurs may relate to this, a lot of them may not because they may be new. And we were talking to this. Alright, we'll give y'all a few fears. First fear is the fear of taking action and failure. Oh man, trust Christian, I could fall flat on my face. Well, hell, you could have fell flat on your face for the job you got right now. But who knows if you got that done on the first try? Most people don't know how many tries it took someone to get it done, but they knew it got it done. Then people sit here and they try to bring up this Benjamin, whatever his name is, Benjamin Franklin. It took him 9,000 times to perfect the incandescent light bulb. It sounds unrealistic. It sounds unfathomable. But then when you can really calculate that, wow, someone spent that much time on trying to perfect what you currently have, whether that's a chair, a house, and a light bulb, that took considerable amount of input. It took considerable amount of energy and effort and thought process and resiliency on his part to just not quit. He could have quit at 5,000. Clearly, they say he did. He quit at. He didn't even quit after 9,000. So some people say, "Oh, trust Christian. You know, I gotta. I gotta. You telling me to just start taking more action? But what if something goes wrong? Y'all don't want to know. We were on the line with a mentor this past week, and he said, trust Christian. When you actually make the decision that this is what it is, there is no more wrong moves. So we can say this on our podcast, ladies and gentlemen. We can say this because we're around what you call the 2%, the 1%, the less than 1%. We're not talking about no TV stuff. The fears. Oh, trust Christian. I don't want to stay. I don't want to take all of these wild moves. I don't want to do this. I don't want to make a mistake. Some trustee comes to us the other day. Oh, I want to do medical education. Yeah, you want to do medical education. So what are you waiting for? You don't need to ask Trust Christian. Well, what do you do every day? The mentor said, do something to scare yourself. Well, a lot of people don't want to hear that. Why? Because they're scared. That's why the episode is around fears. Because when you understand that it's false evidence appearing real, then you'll understand, wow, okay, so if I take the risk, it's not really a failure that is never going to work. It just means it didn't work that time. That's what it sounds like. That's what it looks like. That's what it feels like. We'll give you an example of what people fear. Well, we even thought about this recently. Oh man, you fear your reputation. Yeah, you can fear your reputation. But what happens when you come in contact with a mentor and he says, oh yeah, I had 9 businesses fail. Or when you come in contact with a mentor and he tells you, I had 15 businesses fail. and the last four have been great. You don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear that. No one wants to hear that. No one wants to hear that. But that's the reality. When we sit around, what you would consider a billionaire or multimillionaire, some people say, "Oh man, what do you mean? How come the internet doesn't show me that? How come the influencers don't show me that? How come they don't show me that they failed at 5 businesses? How come they only show me success?" Y'all want to go there? Because it's the fears. If I share with you, that's the thought process. Maybe if I share with you that I failed, how you gonna still look at me as a success? When in all actuality, we sat around successful people and they still tell you their fears and their failures for sure. More their failures, not their fears, because there is no real fear. It's just more, oh, these are some of the moments where I had to overcome false evidence appearing real. Trustees used to get in trustee training. How am I gonna deal with the tax liability? How are you gonna deal with first of all, that wasn't that your whole goal was to be in more control of that? Yes. Okay, great. Has the entity made any money? Has it made any money? Does it have any income? Do you know the difference? Does it have income coming in? What is the business intent of it? Or is it just the whole assets? So people don't really know the difference. So there's a lot of misinformation out there. So let's continue talking about it. Okay, so the fears. I don't want to fail. I don't want to take action to fail again. People don't want to hear that. That's why the market is where it is. That's why only 2% do it. The few that, oh, I took a risk, Trust Christian. I'm in trusteeship. Okay. So are you going to take the risk to go around with people that are ultra wealthy, richer than you, wealthier than you on the outside right now from perception? Are you gonna be able to say, okay, this person can actually help me out because they have value, not just giving me money, but their knowledge base. They were able to battle through 5 failed companies. See, we deal with entrepreneurs. We were talking to one of them the other day. People don't want to know. There's a lot of mentors that would tell you guys they wouldn't deal with you unless you failed in business before. You don't want to know that though. Because you'd be like, well, I'm just starting out. So what does that mean? I'm supposed to fail? How am I going to go about doing this if I'm going to fail? And it's just, think about it. If somebody knew that their first 2 or 3 companies were going to fail, they probably just wouldn't even start. Just being honest with you guys. Like, they just won't start. How would they? Why would they do that? They just don't. That's not a normal human psychology. That's how you know this isn't for everybody. That's how you know you learn to know trusteeship isn't for everybody. Because they would be more embarrassed to fail as a trustee, not knowing that, oh yeah, there are other entrepreneurs, they failed too. There are other trustees, they have failed too. Other investors, they have failed too. Yeah, Warren Buffett may be the greatest investor of the modern day, but at the same, and we don't even say that, but he's considered to be one of them, and he'll let you know. There's times where he's had portfolios and he's had to dump them. There's times in the past few years where he's holding major American companies, and then when certain black swan or events hit, next thing you know, his portfolio goes down 25%, 35%. Oh yeah, Trust Christian, yeah, yeah, Warren Buffett, yeah, because he's heavily invested in your major companies that, once again, if they in that position, that's a part of his portfolio. So when we sit here on the line and we talk about the fears, oh, I don't want to lose 20% of my portfolio, I don't want to lose 30% of my portfolio in a year. Most people couldn't even fathom that. Oh man, I'm gonna lose 20% of my portfolio in 1 year. I'm gonna lose 30% of my portfolio in 1 year. Yeah, okay. They don't even want to know you could lose more than that 1 year. Oh man, how do you lose more than 100% of your portfolio in 1 year? How do you lose 200% and 300% of your portfolio in a year? They don't want to hear that though. But then they don't want to know that the upside that what you would call a Warren Buffett or investors are taking, of course, they're going to get a 5x on their portfolio, 500 times portfolio return. It could be higher. People don't want to hear you can get 1,100 times return on your portfolio 1 year, over a few years. Break it down into 2 different, 3 different, 4 different, 5 different years. Next thing you know,
Oh, I had a 500%. So yeah, I went down 100, but the next 4 years, 5 years, I made 100% every single year off of the previous 100%. You see the difference? Because people that understand compounding, they understand compounding. They're not focused on linear thinking. See, a lot of people don't want to hear that. Trust Christian can identify these things because some people think business is 1 plus 1 equals 2. That's not how business works. That's a job. You go in, you trade time, you get paid, you get a check. That's 1 plus 1 equals 2. That's not business. Oh, Trust Christian, there's no way. It's got to be sequential. We tell employees when they come to the trustee mentality, we tell the trustees when they come from the employee mentality to the trustee mentality, that 1 plus 1 mentality does not work. It doesn't. It does not work. It just doesn't work. You have to have an exponential growth mentality. You're in trusteeship now. What you think? You get over here just to do the same thing you did over being an employee? You think you do the same thing you did over here as you did just being a regular entrepreneur? Talking about, oh yeah, I'm getting beat up. I made $3 million. The government took a mill. That's what they say. They don't know that might even be more than that. That's what they say. Then there's no asset protection. Oh man, no asset protection. So the fears that we're addressing, people saying that they don't have those things, it's protection. Yeah, I think about that. Why would you be scared to protect your assets? Technically, yourself. Why wasn't that taught in the public first? Why are so many people walking around stooped in ignorance? I don't protect my assets. I don't know how to do that. I have everything in my name. It's unprotected. There is no protection. But if I were to start a business, I have an option. I can protect myself with a LLC or a C corp, or or I'm not protected because I'm doing it in my name. It's that simple. It's not, oh, trust Christian. That's right. Why weren't we taught that? Why are we taught to do things in our name? Well, the people you were trained by, they were doing things in their name. You become a product of your environment. That's where the fears came from. And we share with trustees, the more you get around entrepreneurs that think dynamically, that are at higher levels than where you're currently at, they'll always challenge you to give you more information, because everybody likes to think, oh, information is power, knowledge is power. Oh, if knowledge is power, it's not just about the knowledge, it's about the straight up focus and the concentration on that knowledge. But a lot of people don't really want to know. Trusteeship, what one mentor said, if you seen one trust, you seen one trust. Y'all don't want to hear that, because even though there is a system, it is a system, the inner workings of how you manage it based off your personality type is those are what it looks like on the inside. It's like a house. Not everybody's going to decorate the inside the same. So it's the interior management. It's the interior decoration that you should be really focused on, not whether the vehicle can drive from 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds, because it can. Y'all already know what you're looking at when you see it. Y'all see that this is the Rolls Royce of business. Is it wrong to have a Rolls Royce? Oh man, it costs premium gas, all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, they don't even try to describe it as a car. They try to describe it as an automobile. They try to describe this as a piece of art. It's not. It goes past driving it on a daily basis. They tried to turn this into a piece of art. We already know. It's considered that because it has more. Just like you would consider your management style an intangible value of the trust itself, your management style, it's intangible just as much as it's tangible. So when we talk about your body and it having value, or putting asset protection on your body, whether that's through trusteeship, insurance contracts, which are contracts and trusteeship, then we understand where we're at with it. It's business, it's not personal. It's trusteeship, it's stewardship. doing our best to share with you why you really never need to walk in fear. But what we love about this subject matter is most people are motivated by fear. But whether they know it or not, sure, fear can help you out in fight or flight mode. If there's an animal or a danger, then it can help you. But okay, now that you are back into the civilized world, you're not at war, even though the laws may dictate otherwise, whether that's maritime, whether that's through um, admiralty or commercial valley. As you can see, these rules are considered rules of engagement when you are dealing with an opposition. Correct. Okay. So we already know what time it is. We're talking to a trustee the other day. They call it a wardrobe for a reason. You gotta wear your wardrobe properly. These are things you talk about, trustees, with, oh yeah, I fear this, I fear that. Okay. Well, when you're not walking by faith, we already know what the alternative is. And most people are what they would consider motivated by fear. Oh man, what could go wrong in my life? That's why I need to trust. I need to trust because because I need to protect myself because I'm living in fear. Because if you're not looking at it from that perspective, then the faith perspective means you're very proactive. You take initiative. You're actually going out, generating cash flow and assets to make sure that it can take care of the family. You're moving from a wealth preservation perspective. You're making it a point to move from a trustee position that is the overseer or leader of people sitting at the round table. We were talking to a trustee about this the other day. We're just gonna go ahead and kick it to y'all again because this is the reality, ladies and gentlemen. See, some people say, "Oh, trust Christian. Do I really gotta do it?" So okay, trust Christian. Show us that you did it. Okay, so y'all can listen to the podcast. Y'all can listen to episodes where we featured people on the podcast, attorneys, where we featured people that deal with the insurance. We featured these people. We've interviewed on the channel people that have non-government organizations that are in favor of private families, maintaining private wealth, not getting taxed to death, and lobbying for that in DC, in the nation's capital. So when y'all want to sit here and say, oh, Trust Christian, do I need to build out my network? Do I need to go work with some big dogs? And who are the big dogs? Is it the government people? No, it's not the government people. So don't think you're going to shortcut it just because you know your local alderman or you know your local your local mayor. Knowing your local mayor is important. Knowing the local commissioner is important. Right. But you want to still be networking with the private families that are without the government. That's why they're private. Because they're without the government. The person that's inside the government office that you may know, they're in the government. See, we don't want to look at them as opposition because they say they for the people. The government. Right? Who's against the government, right? Or is the government against the people, right? So, we're all supposed to be together. Kumbaya, right? Right. It's Commercial Valley. It's been that for a while now. It's been that. What y'all want to say, the Emancipation Proclamation? It's Commercial Valley. Bottom line, it's commercial in nature. It's de facto in nature. It's business law in nature. That's what it is. It's contract in nature. Verbally expressed, implied, contract in nature. Go find out and make sure you know what makes a contract stand on its own. If you get into a contract, I don't know if I know all the rules first. So how's that a legitimate contract? You don't even know all the rules. You didn't even read the full contract. You didn't read the fine print. So then, if that's the case, how does the contract still stand? And if that's the case, if you go back in the contract, the party that you contracted with, and you say, hey, I didn't know all these details first. I'm here to amend it. And if I cannot amend it, I actually would like to reserve my right, which you call yourself as a human being, and actually reserve the right to exit the contract in peace. But can you do that? Who are you contracted with? The government? Through a social security number? That's who you're contracting with? So you're scared of the entity that's supposed to help you? You're fearing through the entity that's supposed to help you? The entity is supposed to be an entity, right? Right? Is the United States a real living being, a human being, or is it a entity? It's an entity. It's a commercial entity. It's a business entity. But people fear this type of thought process because they don't have enough people around them that validate their thought process. Oh man, I know the United States is a corporation. Yeah, you know that, but are you operating now in your full trustee capacity? Not just absconding from things, but actually acting as a trustee. Once again, you may not be the accountant. Hmm. You may not be the lawyer or the attorney for it. Hmm. But you're aware, hey, you know what? I actually know who I am. Trustee comes on the line the other day. Oh, do I gotta sign with a restricted signature every time? Well, if you don't sign with a restricted signature, you're considered naked in the wilderness. And you cannot operate in commerce in the wilderness. They're two separate jurisdictions, clearly, because in commerce they have different, what they call, codes and statutes. Y'all are aware of this. Y'all hear this terminology. Since you're aware of that terminology, understand it. Be aware of it. These are terms that people are utilizing, quote unquote, whether they're for you or against you. So when we talk about, oh man, the fear trust, what are you really fearing? You're fearing what people that have the information want you to fear, which is not the information. Your fear using it to its full capacity. Because once you can get inside of a car, a vehicle that can get you somewhere faster than other vehicles, you will use it. But how many people end up using it? Oh man, I heard this story about this rich person and this person and that person. Yeah, but that's not you. Did you manage it right? Think about it. You know how many people come in trusteeship? Oh man, I want to know all the stories of people that did it wrong. That's what people say. I want to know the stories of people that did it wrong. How many people really want to know the stories of people that did it right? Do you know the success stories? Which is interestingly enough, if you're in the private sector or Supreme Court law or precedent, that means the historical cases of success. Appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening, replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listening, replay. Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, that's Christian at trustchristian.com. Look forward to hearing from you all at the vault if you need a consultation. In need of trusteeship. Want to make it a point to protect yourself and your family. We look forward to hearing from you all. Peace and joy.